Hey everybody, welcome to the Portsmouth Basketball Podcast. This is part 2 of an interview series. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, go back and check it out. But for those of you who are here at the right time, thank you so much for listening. Let's get into it.
So how did the GB setup all come about?
So, you know Grace Jacker?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's a friend of ours. She was involved with the GB setup and she contacted me just before my 50th birthday and said they've got trials for the over 50s team coming up for a tournament in Spain. Are you interested? And this is what got me back into playing. And I said, well, yeah, I'll come up, but I haven't played for 15, 20 years, so probably not going to.
Was this last season as well, or the season before?
This was. She contacted me 2020.
Okay.
So it was near the end of 2020. The trials were May 21. Got the call, got the ask for if I wanted to try out for GB.
I think that's them now.
Oh, that's them. They heard.
They heard.
Make sure he's playing.
So went up to Manchester, had the trials, didn't think much of it, and that's probably me coming away thinking, okay, I did all right, but there's better players than me. Got invited back.
And that's all up at Manchester as well, isn't it?
That was all around the country. So the initial trials were in Manchester, then we went to places, we did some in Sheffield, some in Birmingham. We had one training session down in Southampton.
Wow.
On Kestrel's court.
You thought they would keep it in the Midlands, do you think?
It was all dependent on, with that team, we were trying to get different people, so that not everybody was always having to travel a long way. We had a couple of guys from, the Liverpool way, Yorkshire way, some of us from down south. So the coach was trying to just say, right, okay, let's try and balance it out a little bit.
And Manchester's a slog from here.
Manchester's a slog, yeah.
That's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, so it's the whole weekend you train.
Yeah. So we did that. Got out to Malaga, Spain, in the Europeans, which was an experience, both playing and just, the fact that you're representing GB. Seeing people in the opening ceremony that you used to look up to and watch when you were kids, and they're there. You're playing in the same tournament as them.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And not only is, you're part of GB, but you're leading GB.
Yeah. I got the phone call in December, just before Christmas, asking me, they wanted me to be the captain of the team, which was, one massive honour, but also knowing the players in the team and the level that some of those guys have played at, a shock. But I think, having spoken with the coach, he said, it's the way I always thought about the rest of the team, not myself, and it went from there. And now this year I'm going out to Argentina.
Wow, and that's
I'm not
the
captain this time.
That's the world. That's the world
That's
Masters.
the world's, yeah.
And you're in a from what I remember, it just being released. The pool. You're in a group now with Brazil and Costa Rica.
Brazil and Costa Rica in our qualifying pool, yeah.
Wow.
So what do you know about the opponents?
They're Brazilian and Costa Rican. I know nothing at the moment. I think there's 5 Argentinian teams. There's 3 or 4 Brazilian teams. So It's not like the World Cup that you'd see on the TV or whatever, where there's one. Each country only gets one team.
Oh, fantastic.
So there is the possibility, like someone pointed out, I think Mr. Ginobili is eligible.
Wow.
He's so cool.
Yeah, so you could be playing up against him. And I say that, in our over 55s team, some of you older listeners, Steve Bucknall's playing for GB.
That's very cool.
So, we've got an NBA player, but there's potential that, any of the other countries can have NBA players.
Wow.
Well, I expect you to fully give them a charge, or at least put them on the ground.
Yeah.
Take the head off a couple of top pair players.
Yeah.
I actually, I believe that Andy goes to this tournament with a Portsmouth Force vest
100%.
underneath his GB top.
100%.
I've got to be given one then.
So with moving on to the Force this season, are you playing this season?
I'll be honest, I don't think so. Yes, I'd like to, but I'm training with them at the moment, and being pragmatic and seeing the guys that we've got, I shouldn't be playing with them.
Oh, okay.
And that's me sort of saying, I can see the level of those guys. I'm not of that level to sort of say, I should be in above you. So, training with them, helping them out. I'm going to be. I've been asked to be the team manager this year. So
wow.
The experience that I've got, you were saying earlier about being able to speak to players, etc., still being there and around them and helping them out is really the role that I'm going to have this year.
Well, that deserves a round of applause, I believe.
Yeah, well, let's
Andy Rowlands, team manager.
So what is the role of the team manager this year?
Water boy. It's. I've spoken with Daniel, and basically what we're trying to do is take a lot of the other jobs away from Daniel. So all he's got to do is worry about coaching.
Yeah.
He's got his coaching team. They worry about the coaching. I'll be looking after, helping the guys during the game. So if he wants something passed on during the game, I can do that for him. Making sure that we've got transport sorted out for the games, meeting the other team, arranging the games for the other teams, so giving them all the information, making sure that they know where they're coming, etc., etc.
Yeah, and that's invaluable, really, because it takes. It is an extremely important role, but it allows Dan to have more time to focus on
coaching.
On the main thing he's there for.
Yeah, we're also looking to try and, as you know, in Force, we're trying to become a family rather than just a basketball club. And that's another thing that we're looking at trying to do, and just say, right, okay, I'll try and get some pre-season social events for the team, for the players, build up that, that camaraderie between the players.
I think people forget, team. They think the word team as in people on the court.
Yeah.
It's very easy to forget. You've got all the coaches, all the staff, all the logistics, physios,
podcast speakers,
podcasters, the announcers, mascots, venue staff, and even ancillaries that maybe not part of the team, but like all the people at Rowlands put the stuff out, bring all the stuff back, help all that.
Yeah, well, I'm very confident Rob will go into a lot of that detail, but there's so much that happens behind the scenes just to get the game going for the men's, and so many people who contribute it, who are doing it out of the for no fee.
Love the game.
Just love of being part of that club.
So that's what we're looking at doing. Daniel's increased his coaching team, so he's got more coaches now involved. We're looking at getting performance analysts involved through the university. We're doing a deal with South Coast Physiotherapy, who are the physios based at Rowlands, so they're going to be on board with us in a partnership.
That'll be invaluable.
That's very good.
Definitely throughout the last season, there's some players who could have really benefit from that.
Yeah, especially with, how many games is it going to be this season? Same number as last?
No, we've got a few more.
There's 10?
Because it's switched, doesn't it? Because we talked about that the other day in the last podcast about it changing.
I think there were 8, and now another 2 have come in.
We've got 11. There's 11 teams in our league this year.
Yeah, so there's
20 games plus cup games.
Yep.
And you know what? I almost want to say, I've said it already, that I think we're going to do strong this year. But I think we, prepare for the playoff games as well if we get home court advantage.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, home court advantage, we've got to use that. I mean, I know that was a thing at the beginning, certainly with the announcing the music and stuff. Is that okay in BB and stuff? But it's home court advantage. Every sport has a thing on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're just rolling what we're doing. And what you guys are doing is similar to our mentality with the entertainment and the announcing and, just the equipment and stuff we're using, a podcast. We're just taking these little steps every couple of months, just improving. And it sounds like that's what the actual team and the inside structure's doing as well. So, where could it go to?
It can go anywhere. It just needs that support. Yes, we've got the support as in fans. We just need to get the financial support now.
Could we go up?
We could go up.
Do you think that would be good? Or would you like to see another season under the belt in this division?
I think we need to go up.
Paul's already predicted we're going to be finalists.
What? Who are the new teams that have come in the last two? I know Bognor was one. Who's the other?
I'm not sure because I can't remember who was in the original.
Wasn't it someone that was in Kent or somewhere, and it was like not Margate, but somewhere that was over in that division?
Might have been Eastbourne.
No, Eastbourne. We had Eastbourne already. I mean, the reason I said I think they're going to do well, and I made the prediction I think we'll win the league, is based on the
just throws it out there.
Just throws it out there.
Based on the winning percentage. So out of all the National League teams that played last year, Portsmouth, and I believe it was it the Kent Crusaders?
Yes.
And they actually took our playoff spot by 11 points.
Yeah.
But they were in the East Division, and I was just looking at it thinking...
Those are the ones I was talking about.
They
were East, but now they've come in.
Yeah.
But no, they were South East.
That's right,
And we're South East.
Those Cardiff teams were bloody good. They were really good. And I just think, looking at percentages, Portsmouth will be up there if they can maintain that. The Crusaders are going to be a challenge, but I think we're in a tougher league than they were last year. So that's why I thought, I think we're going to tip them.
Yeah.
But, you know what, you roll the dice and see what the players do. They might, they might turn up on the first game. You never know.
Yeah.
What's the danger of losing players?
What do you mean by losing
other
players? There's always a danger.
Yeah.
At this level, you are not we don't have contracts.
No.
So, someone could come along and say, yes, we want you. Yes, as a club, you could turn around and say, well, we're not letting you go. We're keeping hold of your license. I've seen that done before. But, what's the point? Someone doesn't want to play for you.
In Portsmouth, there's no way Dan would do that. He would just say, if you had a player who could progress their career in basketball, I think Dan would do.
Yeah.
But it would just encourage.
Yeah.
That's how he comes across.
I think the only issue would be if it was a team in your own league, your own division.
Yeah.
You might then go for, well, we're not happy.
Yeah.
But if it's someone being offered a Div 2, Div 1, BBL type position, you can't stand in their way.
But I think if it's in our division, and I don't mean to say it the way this is going to come out, but why would they leave, especially with the home court that we've got going? Because that kind of beats all of them, doesn't it?
It depends on what the reasons are.
Yeah.
It could be someone who's moving.
Yep.
Then, if they're moving from here to, Canterbury area, you can't really turn around and say, well, no, we're not going to let you go and play for them.
We need to sign some of these guys up to PhDs, don't we? Like a part-time PhD that lasts 6 years. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they could do a doctoral in sports science or something.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you don't have to finish all that. We could do it over 12 years. That's fine.
Yeah. That's I mean, it's interesting the feed to Portsmouth Force because it's being a new team.
Yeah.
And starting from day one. How do you think that's going to change going forward? Because obviously it's getting more, not only getting popular, but there's so many people going to it. Are the way that you're going to get players changing, do you think? Are you going to still look at it as a ranking system? The tryouts are obviously so important, but
I think the tryouts are important. One, it brings money into the club.
Yep.
It also brings an image. And what I mean by that is we had the trials at Ravlin. We had 2 or 3 families come up to the registration desk because they were in Ravlin doing something else.
oh really?
Doing swimming, or they were playing squash, or they were doing some fitness, saw what was going on, asked about the club. So it built interest. If we were doing our trials, each team were doing theirs at Admiral Lord Nelson, Portsmouth College,
Yep.
no one would have known about it other than those going. It wouldn't have been seen, and you wouldn't have built up a bit more of an interest.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think that there's a lot of anticipation for the upcoming season, and especially when our first home game is the Southampton Kestrels.
Wow, you said that. Does it feel bitter in your mouth? Are you saying that? Just
Well,
saying the words.
we know they're coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Are you looking forward to that victory?
you know what? Oh, he started me off. You know what?
It's getting you going, isn't it?
They
You
are going
said
to
it.
turn up, and I don't care what anyone says. They are going to turn up with their Div 1 team, and they're going to say, "Yeah, this is kind of a like Div 3 team, maybe a bit of Div 2. This is their Div 1 team coming down." Portsmouth Force got to be ready to play that day, because that is going to be a tough game. I think
It will be a tough game.
But you still got to turn up though, haven't you?
Yeah.
You still got to turn
Both
up.
teams
and
have got to turn up.
Yeah.
I think we'll get a nice crowd, because you'll get some people from Southampton come as
Yeah.
well. So it'll be a nice crowd. I'm really intrigued to see what the atmosphere is going to be like, because when you're looking up, when you're the team looking up to, knock that team off the
Yep.
top of the mountain, it means more to you than when you're that team looking down. So, Portsmouth are nothing to Kestrels, not really, where we're looking at them going, we want to beat you again.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued to see what the atmosphere is. There going to be a bite to it? I think there might be. I don't know.
I don't think there will. There might be with some of the older generation. Your age, our age.
Basically, you, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
We're
an
actually going
announcer, I
to knock
have
you
to
knocked
be
out of the
sure.
game. We're going to lock you in a room. That's it.
As in, the people that have grown up knowing that there's been a Portsmouth and a Solent,
Yep.
and there's been that rivalry back in the day between the two teams. Your younger kids now, they don't know anything of that.
No.
It's their team playing just somebody else.
Nice
So
to see the tables turn though, and Portsmouth come out and filled something.
Yeah.
You're going to be a busy man. Coming back, you're going to be coming back from the Masters.
Coming back from the Masters.
That's kicking off, and then you got trials for the Masters as well for
Yep.
next year's
Yep.
Europeans. Busy man.
Busy
Yeah.
man.
Well, I mean, that kind of is a nice way to draw a line.
That really draws a line on it.
And
But,
I know you've got your weekly segment that we've talked
yeah.
about now.
It was
Has it got a name?
just a weekly big
All-time
question.
questions.
No, just big question. So, Andy, you've got such a tenured history with basketball.
Yep.
How do you stay fit as a player to have longevity? Because we're seeing more injuries,
Yeah.
especially with some of the more athletic players, should we say? And, in the NBA, you're seeing everyone snap an ACL, break a leg and all sorts, and they're like 23.
I think it's, maybe it's the fact that back in the day we didn't do 3, 4, 5 times a week training.
Really?
When I was at Solent, it was two tough training sessions a week, one shooting session, and then a game. So, whereas nowadays, if you look at some of the guys in Force, they're university players as well. Some of them are training twice a day, 3 or 4 times a week.
Yes, that is too much.
And
It's a lot of stress.
it's a lot of stress. And then you're playing, so last year, the university guys, if I get this right, they were training Monday morning, 6 till 9, something like that, or 6 till 8. then Monday evening with Force. Tuesday morning, would play Bucks game on the Wednesday. Train again for Force on the Thursday night. Play at the weekend.
Wow.
And that's what I knew of. But then obviously they've also got anything else that they were doing.
And they might be doing some PT work, physical stuff,
Yeah.
and weights sessions and things in between
Yeah.
or whatever.
So
I
they're
mean,
putting their
that's why
bodies through a
they're
hell of a
super
lot.
fit. They're
Yeah.
super fit.
They're
those
super
guys.
fit, but you're putting your body through a hell of a lot.
That is a lot to go through, even with youth and experience,
Yeah.
or youth and exuberance, should I say. That's a lot of hammering.
Yeah. So,
And then add 20 games on there,
Add
plus
20 games.
whatever the Uni took games they add on as well.
yeah, it's non-stop.
How
Yeah.
can those players deal with that? What's the best way for them to deal with that, do you think?
Good quality S&C coaches and good quality physios. If you've got somebody monitoring you and working with you, and they can see something happening, they can stop you.
Yeah.
So if you've got a strength and conditioning coach that's sort of saying, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. Right, it's not working. Why is it not working? Okay, you're finding this pain. Right, we get a physio involved. Right, you've got an issue. We ease you down. Whereas, back in our day, it was a case of, you didn't have any of this. Pre-game.
Put some ice on it.
Put some ice on it. Yeah, that would be it. Put some ice on it. I've had this discussion with my daughter. Jessie. She's ex-player and everything.
And she's taken on the coaching role, right?
She's getting involved in coaching.
Yeah.
She's an assistant coach now.
Fantastic.
For the first team. For me, back in the day, pre-game, you do a little bit of stretching. Your old cold static stretches.
Yep.
Then you go into your layup lines, shoot a bit, play the game, have a shower, go up in the bar, have a beer, have something to eat.
And that's home or away game.
And that was home or away game. Whereas nowadays, you've got your dynamic stretching beforehand, you warm up, some more stretching, you stretch after the game, etc., etc. And I had this discussion with her saying, I can't do running and then stretch. I've got to stretch first. She says, oh no, that's not good for your body. You've got to do it. You've got to warm up first.
Yeah, warm, then do it.
I said, but I can't do that. I'm not used to doing that.
Yeah.
So I've got to do it my way.
It's weird, isn't it?
That is funny,
It's
isn't
so weird that you say that, because again, I was at the gym today, went for a run. First thing I did, those stretches you were talking about.
Yeah.
Then I did my run, finished, did my stretches, went in the shower.
Yeah.
You used to get me to click your back before we played a game.
Yeah, that always felt nice.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? The strength things are what was the old way of doing it.
Yeah.
And now they're like, no, you've got to do it this way.
Yeah.
Don't put loading on this. But yet I still see more injuries nowadays.
Yeah.
With all of these tears, ACL, Achilles, all that sort of stuff. I see more and more of it.
I think some of it though is it because people are being told this is what you've got to do, but not being told how to do it properly? So you've got to do this, that and the other, but if you've not been shown how to do it properly, you get it wrong.
Yeah.
You haven't got someone monitoring you, or you're just doing too much.
I have
got
also
to know what you need to know.
I have another theory, and I think this applies to the NBA. Poor footwork. I think there's some people in the NBA now with some really sloppy footwork, and you're seeing some rolled ankles, and they're like lazy feet. They're quite static in how they play.
I thought you were going to say their shoes. I thought you meant, they haven't got good shoes.
Well, you could look at that.
You had luminous yellow shoes up until recently, so you know when I talk on shoes.
Well, how many players do you see these days with high tops?
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Anything
many.
above the ankle.
No.
And
So
we
our
look at them and go,
low-cut
you're going to
boots-
break your ankle.
Yeah, our low cut shoes, anything to do with it? Probably not, but
Well, you see people like Steph Curry, he's got low-cut shoes, but they're cut because he has to wear his ankle brace.
yeah,
Because he's rolled his ankles so many times. That was going to be a not career ender, but he was not in a good place with it. And I think he wears the same ones you wear.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, so What? Because I was wearing them.
No. Oh, yeah, Steph Curry was wearing them because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 4-time NBA champ.
You know,
Yeah.
I like to inspire people.
Wow.
If
He's
you know,
eternally grateful for your contribution to his
championship.
games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Mark. And
I often look at you and think your game is just so similar.
yeah. I just don't score as much and don't play
Do you as well?
anywhere near as his little finger. And
But no, I think that's a good point, Andy. Is that we have the longevity of the game. You've got a young team with Portsmouth,
Yeah.
and it'd be great to see them playing for the next 5-10 years and maintaining that. And you think you do have to look after yourself,
Yeah.
because every year you're going to have to come back for a trial,
Yeah.
and you're only as good as your last year's, or so to speak.
yeah,
So
and that's hopefully why getting all these other people in the background involved, your physios, your S&C coaches.
Yep.
We can keep the
and your
players
team
fit.
managers, of course.
Team manager doesn't do a lot though. We just keep the wheels oiled.
Are you going to wear a suit on game day?
Ooh,
No,
bow tie.
no,
Are you going to wear something GB related?
no, because I won't be part of GB when I'm representing Force. I won't be GB.
If I was representing GB, I wouldn't take it off.
Yeah,
I'd be going to bed in GB
I'd
stuff.
have a Union Jack cape.
I would wear nothing other than GB.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's a look. That is a look. But there is a crossover between them, I guess, at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So will you be away for GB at some points when the games are playing on?
I don't think so. Maybe for training, some of the GB training might be, but I'm back from Argentina early September, so I'll be back in time for the pre-season games.
Amazing.
I'm looking forward to that. So yeah. So Mark, you're going to throw your 2 questions at Andy? Your
Yep.
all-time
All-time, you've got your all-time, who's the greatest player personally, and who you'd say overall. So they can be the one and the same person.
Yep.
It doesn't. It doesn't have to be NBA. It can be
Doesn't have to be NBA. It could be FIBA. It
whatever
could,
you feel.
It could be Portsmouth Force.
So I think I think you explained it quite well the other day when you said someone was going to take a winning shot.
Yeah.
In a championship
For example,
game.
you got that one shot. It's the ball's going to be inbounded to that person. Who's that?
Where they're shooting from?
Wherever you want.
Yeah, you pick it.
I know
It's literally to go. They're safe. That's a safe.
Andy, I will take that shot if you want me to.
I said safe.
Yeah.
Safe.
If it was a free throw,
Shank.
no, it'd be nowhere near it. If it was a free throw, I know it sounds egotistical, but I would take it myself.
Wow.
I love that.
Because
I love that.
I've got the confidence in my own free throw shooting. If it's to save my life, I'll put it on myself.
Amazing.
Anywhere else on the court, it would probably be a toss-up between Jordan and Kobe.
Interesting. Very interesting. That was your answer.
Yeah, I said
And
that
I
as
say,
well.
and that's anywhere else on the court.
Yes.
Because
So you or
They were-
Jordan or Kobe?
for free throw,
That's
for
great.
free
Andy.
throw,
You're chucking yourself in.
yeah. But like I'm saying,
I love that.
if it's to save my life,
Yep.
and it's a free throw,
Hey,
You
no one
want to
else.
be responsible for it.
I want to be responsible for
And
that.
you know
I
what?
wouldn't
put
let Jordan
that-
take my
that-
life. That's fine.
That answer makes sense for someone who's being captain of GB.
Absolutely. I wouldn't want a captain to say anything other than
Yeah.
I'm going to take that
That
myself.
makes sense.
So, all-time starting 5. You can have a 6th man on the bench as well. All-time starting
All-time.
5. Any players, NBA, FIBA, BBL.
Andy, I am available for
You are
selection
available.
if you want.
I said
How
6th
far-
man, not 60th.
How far down do we have to go to get the pool? I'll probably have Bill Russell.
Big Bill,
Big Bill, yeah.
11-time NBA champion.
Scottie Pippen.
Ooh. 6-time NBA champion.
So that's my centre and my small forward.
Oh, okay.
Power forward would probably be Sean Kemp.
Oh, I love that.
0.
I love
NBA
that.
champion.
Should have been. Was denied. 96 finals, I believe.
Point guard.
Yeah.
I think you'll like this one as well, Gary Payton.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And
You're trying to get something from
So
that.
he is.
shooting guard. I'd probably go Kobe.
Kobe,
Whoa. Does that mean you got MJ on the bench?
5-time NBA champion.
You know how furious that would make my Jordan on the bench. That is probably the best
Do you-
tactic you'd ever had for him, though, wouldn't it? Imagine being MJ and putting him on the bench.
Do you know who will have a 6 man? Jason Colgan.
Wow.
You're taking Jason.
First
so you're
Portsmouth
ta-
player to be named.
You're taking a free throw over MJ or Kobe, and you're putting Jason Colgan in instead of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
We need to get Jason Colgan on it.
We literally need to end it here because that is groundbreaking.
I mean,
Why
Wow.
Jason? We've talked about him before,
Yeah.
and we said, he's one of the best players to be,
he
to
was an
come out
amazing
of
player.
Portsmouth.
I mean, yeah. Yes, I think you're right. He is probably the best player that's ever come out of Portsmouth.
We saw him recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we were at a wedding and he was there. And it was really interesting when I was talking to him. He was just kind of saying he played so much basketball that he's now looking at just going, I just
Don't want to play no more.
don't want it
Yeah.
in my life kind of thing. But, he did sound interested in coming to a Force game. He was up for that.
He needs to come on the podcast. That's what he needs to do.
Well, let's get him to a Force game and then
Yeah.
Get him to do a double.
we could do a podcast. We'll tell him it starts at 4 and then we'll do a podcast. We'll turn up early and say,
We'll set up a free throw. And if Andy hits the free throw, Jason has to do the podcast.
well, we need to let him know. This is groundbreaking.
No,
Yes.
we don't. Jason doesn't need to know that.
Wow. Well, Andy, you don't know this, but we finish our shows with, you've seen the basket
Yeah.
just around the corner there. We always finish with a live commentary of someone taking a shot. So you do the honour shooting on this basket.
Yeah.
Got to take, well, it was 2, and we call it the Stevie Ware bonus shot
Yeah,
as well,
the
don't we?
Stevie Ware bonus shot. And I think it's quite prevalent as well because obviously Andy said he would take a free throw
For his life.
for his life.
Yeah, but that is on a 10-foot ring with a proper ball.
We did not stipulate the regulations. We did not say it had to be regulation height.
Well, Andy, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
before we finish, Andy, that was awesome.
That's all right. Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, here we go. We've got Andy Rowlands here. Let's. He's getting ready. So this is about 20 foot away from the basket where this line is. Let's hear it for. And now, Andy Rowlands. So Andy's back on the line here. He's taking. Oh, he's gonna. Looks like he's gonna shoot two-handed on this basket. First one goes up. Air ball. Air ball. He's got the ball back. He's taken no dribbles, but his concentration. Rim, was that the rim? It hit the rim, bounced out. The Stevie Ware bonus shot. That was a brick against the far wall. Andy, unfortunately, Angie didn't make it. But Andy, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. It's been absolutely fantastic having you.
Yep. Andy, that's
And,
been absolutely brilliant.
He's thrown bombshell after bombshell.
He has, but there was a couple of bombs there as well. One was right there, right in the back of what's the bit at the back of the ring? What do you call that?
The ring.
Yeah, but is that got a specific name?
The back of the ring.
Oh, shut up.
Well, Andy, thank you very much. And, we look forward to seeing you at the Force.
Yes. Thank you very, very much. For wherever you are, or whenever you're listening, we appreciate it. Go back, listen to our episodes, and listen for more of Portsmouth Basketball Podcast coming soon. Thanks for joining us.